Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Petra Deeter on the line, and she is a director and producer over at Hollywood Silver Screen Network. Petra, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
So I'm excited to get more into what you're doing over at Hollywood Silver Screen Network. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career?
You know what? It's kind of interesting. I mean, 6 years ago, if you told me that I would be involved in the film industry, I would never believe you back then. But I mean, seriously, I mean, like as an Asian child, as a child, you don't get a lot of options. You had to be either a doctor, like a medical doctor, or a PhD in science or engineering. This is, like all the Asian kids had two options. Right? Yeah, you don't get to be creative. There's no films, there's no art, there's none of those things. So, I couldn't handle blood. So I ended up being in engineering. So I ended up with a PhD in chemical engineering, which was kind of weird because I really found chemistry to be very overwhelming. But I had always been interested in business and, like connecting with people. So with my PhD, I ended up developed a technology called the reflux classifier. And it helped the Australian, I was in Australia actually at the time, and it helped the Australian coal industry saving like hundreds of millions of dollars every year. And with that, I was given a lot of awards and medals, and then the technology was acquired by Ludovici, which is an American company, in 2001. And then when that happened, I kind of realized that I really love business. So then I started to get involved into all sort of things. I was getting into real estate investment. I was developed, and then I started a company. It's called Visite for telecommunication sourcing and all sort of things. And then that company also got acquired in 2005 by a joint venture between a Singaporean and a Vietnamese company. So it was kind of really interesting, like doing all these sort of different things. And then, and I was living in Australia at the time. And then there's this company that is an international company, and they found out about my technology in Australia, and they said, hey, can you come and help us develop similar technology but for our products? And that's how I ended up in America. So I ended up here in California, developed a technology for them, and they sponsored my green card and all that, and brought my family here, which is great. And then I was still doing, and I thought, okay, since I'm so interested in all these different things, I decided to go and get my MBA at UCLA. And then doing all this business, I never once thought that I would be in film because, as an engineer, you wear a hard hat every day, and you wear this, like steel toe cap. It's really unattractive. Seriously, like you're crawling up this ladder, on top of this, this tank. It's so filthy, and you get into. It's really interesting. So I never thought that film would be anything. It's so interesting. But it somehow just happened. Like I was supporting, like I was dating someone who was kind of getting into acting at the time, and I thought, okay, I'll be supportive. You take classes, so I'll come with you. So I took the class, and you know what? That was it. So I just ended up totally got into film because of that.
Wow, what an amazing story. I love it because you're right. It's a very uncommon story to say you started out, as an engineer creating all these different, things and products were acquired and you doing all these other things. And then you take an acting class on a whim to support somebody else. And then it leads you on this whole other path in life adventure. So that being said, Petra, there's some younger entrepreneurs that are just getting started, or maybe they're just graduating college, and they're kind of in the middle of trying to find their way in their career and what they're going to do. Obviously, now you have, many years of work experience under your belt, and you had some successes, so now you have the benefit of hindsight on your side. What kind of advice would you give to that new person that's really just graduated and trying to find their way out there in the workforce?
I think the most important thing is relationship, like people, is actually, I find it to be the most important thing over anything else. Like you could have a lot of talents, you could be amazing in so many things, but if you don't figure out how to build relationships and surround yourself with the right people, it's very hard for whatever that you have to be seen by the world or being appreciated. So building a relationship is very important, and finding, the right people to surround yourself with is very important. And a lot of the time people would, especially, like today with technology and social media, you can virtually reach anyone, anywhere in the world. And then people have the tendency of kind of like, finding someone that they wanted to connect with, like maybe somebody important. People tend to just kind of hit the person up and say, hi, could you hire me, or could you give me money for this project or something? And that's like a totally wrong way of starting a relationship, right? Because relationship is about giving first. And I mean, that's what you are doing here with your podcast. You're giving so many entrepreneurs the opportunity to be seen and heard. And that's what you are doing without asking anything first. That's amazing. And that's what people should do, is always find things to give first. And then sometimes people think that they don't have something to give, but actually everybody has something to give. I mean, especially with social media, right? To everybody need more exposure for their project, for example. So you can always share, you can tweet, you can comment. There's so many ways of showing your support and showing your gift before asking for things. And then, building that relationship by having a little bit more understanding of what the person's working on before you knock on their door and go, yeah, give me money or give me a job, right?
I love it. That's great advice, Petra. And it's part of the reason, I'm guessing, why you've been so successful in what you're doing. Speaking of which, let's switch it up a bit. I want to get into what you're doing now. So any type of projects you're working on over at Hollywood Silver Screen Network that you care to share with us?
Yeah, so Hollywood Silver Screen Network is like there's a few different components with it. Like one component is production. So we have a production company. It's called Sparkle Media. It's under the umbrella of the Hollywood Silver Screen Network. And so with the production company, we are a script to screen, and we're doing all genres, and we specialize in global audience. So we have partners that find distribution, especially in Asia. So somebody can come to us with a script, and then we would help them develop it into the final product. And we also do commercial for SMB, so like restaurant and that kind of things. We do commercial for them. So with productions, that's one of the things that we do. One of the projects, actually we have a lot of projects going on, but one of the projects we're working on right now is a drama. It's about a homeless prostitute. I can't say a lot yet, but the executive producer on the project is an amazing name, like incredible, like everybody knows this person, and the star that we have attached to the project, I'm so excited to kind of announce it soon. But that's one of the projects. We have a lot of other projects. We have a documentary film about domestic violence because I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So that's one of the films that is talking about the misconception of domestic violence. So that's something that we're working on. We have a comedy series, like sitcom series that we're working on. So we have a lot of different things that are going on with that production. Another thing that we do at Hollywood Silver Screen Network is a festival. It's mainly a film festival, but we also feature art and fashion and live music, that kind of thing. So in the festival is been a number of years now, and it's been very successful. But in 2020, we are so excited because what we wanted to do in 2020 is to make it the films to be more accessible to the public. So we want it to be in 10 different cities around the world. And so far, I think we have 6 cities right now, and we're still working to get 4 more at least 4 more cities. That's our goal. So we have partnership with like, for example, Sway Cinema in UK. We have partnership with, the Los Angeles Public Library. So some of the films are going to be screened at various locations around the public library during the time of the festival. We have a partnership with Open Door Foundation, which is going to handle the screening in Maryland and DC, and then a few other, a partnership with Polestar Productions, going to have our festival in Pennsylvania and all that kind of thing. So yeah, we're very excited about that. And one of the big things that we're going to do in 2020 is having the festival in Paris. And the festival in Paris is a little bit different. Like, like normally you think about a film festival, you go to the theater and you watch film. But in Paris, we're looking at actually having the festival on a cruise. So it's going to be on a cruise, on the Thames River. And it's a smaller festival. We are only going to have less than 100 people, but it's invitation only. And we're looking at bringing like the top-notch people, like the key decision maker in the industry, so that the filmmakers get a chance to have really intimate connection and really build relationship on this cruise. So that's sort of a different format for the festival in Paris. So we're really excited about that. And then the other part, so we have production, we have the festival, and then we also a media outlet. So we have a magazine that is coming out it's a print format that's coming out every, quarter. So obviously we have another issue coming out in January. So yeah, there's just a lot of things going on, but very, very excited about all of them.
Wow, you are so busy, and what a unique concept. I've never heard of a festival on the cruise in terms of film, so that's so interesting in Paris. I'm like, wow, you have a lot of projects going on. This is awesome. So Petra, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on either Hollywood Silver Screen Network or Sparkle Media or any of the festivals that you're running, what's the best way for them to reach out and to learn more?
Our website is hollywoodsilverscreen.com. So yeah, hollywoodsilverscreen.com, and then you will find all the information there regarding the festival, about our production studio, and all that. And then my personal website is petradeeter.com. So in there's, and both of the websites, you can reach me through the contact form. So, I'm very open and accessible in that way, and obviously on social media everywhere as well.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Petra, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing over at Hollywood Silver Screen Network. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Petra, thanks again for coming on the show.